In this video, I'll be going over assignment 4. I'll be taking you step by step through this assignment, which is exercise 3.1 floor, displaying numbers. So we're going to be writing an app that displays the numbers 1 through 4 on the same line, each number separated by one space. And we're going to use these following 3 techniques, A, B, and C. A being 1 console.writeLine statement, B will be 4 console.write statements, and C will be a console.writeLine statement with 4 int variables and string interpolation. So the int variable is just an integer, meaning a number. So first we're going to start by creating the app. So if you look at section 3.3, it shows you how to create the app. I'm going to go over that with you right now. We're just going to create a new project, and yours might look different than mine, but it'll be pretty similar, similar enough so that you can see what you're looking for here, which is the console app and C#. So we don't want console app and anything other, like this is Visual Basic, but you can see here it doesn't include C#. So we want the console app that has C#, and we're just going to go ahead and name it whatever you want, that it will make it easy for you to be able to find in your folders, because you will be creating a zipped folder where you'll label it the way that the instructor wants you to label it, with your first and last name and all that. So just don't worry about that right now. Just worry about how you will be able to easily find it and know that this is assignment 4. All right, so as you can see, once you create the console app, the very first thing it does is, as you can see right here, it has 1 console.writeLine statement of hello world. So if you go ahead and run that, you're going to see in your console the hello world is printed in the console. So we don't need that right now. We're just going to go ahead and delete that. We're going to look at the text. We're going to look at section 3.2, and right here in figure 3.1 you can see how this is set up with just the 1 console.writeLine statement, and we're going to kind of go over this. The chapter goes over this in greater detail than what I'm going to do, but I'm going to kind of give you like the basic, from my understanding anyway, like the basic meaning of what it is that we're doing here. So the first line you see is the using system. So we're going to go ahead and type that in here. This is the using directive. So make sure you type in using and then system with a capital S and the semicolon, because if this isn't capital, if you don't have the semicolon, your whole program is not going to work. So this is the using directive. And what the using directive is it tells the compiler where to look for the class that's used in the app. So each using directive identifies a namespace. So .NET's namespaces are known as a class library. So we use classes from the system namespace, which contains predefined console class. So that's why the next thing that we'll be doing, as you can see here, is the class keyword, the class declaration. So what we're going to type here is the class keyword. So the class keyword is just the word class itself. That's the keyword. The class declaration is the class keyword with a class name. So these are user-defined classes, meaning that it's defined by you, the one that's creating it, and you can give it a class name. So the class name has to be in camel case, which means that there aren't any spaces, and it doesn't begin with a digit, and it has to begin with either a capital letter, or it can also start with an underscore. So we're going to go ahead and start this with a capital letter, and for this I think I'm going to name this let's see, what is it in the exercise? It is displaying numbers, so I think I'll just name it display numbers. And you see display, display numbers. So the display, it starts with a capital letter, and then when I have another word, I don't have any spaces, I just begin it with a capital letter. So you can clearly see that it says display numbers. And then the next thing that we're going to do, if we go back here to 3.3, creating a simple app, oh, no, sorry, at 3.2, where it says displaying a line of text, you can see that after you have the class declaration, you have these braces. And what these braces here are, so this is the opening brace and this is the closing brace. So we're going to go ahead and add these on here. Oops. Yeah, okay. We're going to go ahead and add an opening brace and a closing brace. And so once you do the opening brace, the closing brace automatically appears. And you're just going to click enter, and maybe you want to do it a couple times to kind of show that space there. What the braces contain is the body of the class declaration. So this is the class declaration. Within these braces is the body. And within this body, the next thing we have is the main method, which is static void main. So we're going to go ahead and type that out. Static, all lowercase, void, lowercase, and then main has a capital I, and then it has the parentheses here. And it doesn't have any semicolon or anything. It does have another set of braces. So we're going to go ahead and do that now and enter another set of braces. And so I'll go over just a little bit what the static void main is, and that basically is this is where the app begins execution, or the entry point. I guess I didn't put this here. This is okay. And so when we break this down to static void main, the parentheses after main is letting the app know that this is a method. Each class, any class declaration contains one or more method, and each app must have a class called main. Otherwise, the app won't work at all. It's not going to execute. So what a method is it can perform a task and return a value. The keyword void here means that the main is not going to return a value. Okay, and these braces again mean that it's going to contain the body of the main method. Okay, so now we know from the exercise instructions what we want is we want these three, oops, okay. So we are going to have A, B, and C. Oh, it did not. Okay, well, we know use one console dot write line, oops, statement, or use for console dot write statements. Use one again, console dot write lines statement with 4 variables and string interpolation. Now, with 4 int variables. And the int again is integer, numbers. Okay. Let's just clean this up a bit, make it a little bit easier to to read. Okay. So, use one console.WriteLine statement. Okay, well, right here, and what we were already looking at with displaying a line of text, they use a console.WriteLine statement, which you can see. Console.WriteLine, parentheses. So let's go ahead, console.WriteLine, parentheses, with double quotes. See how it starts with and ends with double quote? And so what we want to put in here, since this is just one line, is we're going to start with 1, space, 2, space, 3, space, 4. And that's it. That's all you have to do for this first line. We also need to end it with a semicolon. If we don't, it won't. Sorry, it won't run. Okay, so that's our first task, right? Use one console.WriteLine statement to create numbers 1 through 4, okay? And then for B, it says use 4 console.write statements. So we should already know this from before. So we're not going to do write line, we're just going to do console.write. And it's going to be the same as a write line, except we're just going to have one value in each one. So we're just going to go ahead and copy this and put number 2, and then copy it again and put number 3, and then copy it again and put number 4. Now let's go ahead and run this and see what it looks like right now. Let's see if it's how we want it to be. And as you can see, the first line is just like we want. It's just 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4. And the second line, although we wrote 4 different lines to write this one line, which I would not suggest, it wrote it all on one line with a space in between because I did 1 space within the quotations. Okay. So we could also do another console.write statement. Okay, so we're going to keep our 1, 2, 3, 4 there. We're going to change the first one though to say B, or let's do it like this, maybe B, and then leave a space. Okay. And we can change the first line to A, and also with a space, and let's see what that looks like. So now we have A and B, and now we're going to work on C. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Oops. And then what I'm going to do with the comments is I'm going to just kind of, if I can, kind of just keep them lined up here so that it's easy to read, but also not like in the way where you can't see the code. Okay, so for C, this one is a little bit more tricky. So for C, we're going to use one console.WriteLine statement. Okay, so let's start with that. And you can just click it or enter. And then we know for console.WriteLine, we're going to have the parentheses and the double quotes. And then we're going to go ahead and look at our chapter again. And we're going to look at where it says string interpolation. So you can see a string interpolation is right here. This is the string interpolation, and let's see where it says, okay, so it says an interpolated string must begin with a $sign. So this is within that console.WriteLine statement, but the $sign is within the parentheses, but outside of the quotations. So let's go ahead and add that right there, just the $sign. We know we're going to need a $sign right before the double quotes, okay? And now we're gonna look at section 3.6 for adding integers. Now, they did it a little bit different than what we need to do because they're gonna prompt the user to input that, and we don't need that. So we're gonna look at how they did it here. And first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna declare the first number, which is int, and then a name for that. So what I'm gonna do here is do this before the console.writeLine. Okay, and I'm going to say int to declare an integer, declare a number, and I'm going to call this number 1. It could also be just like num1 or n1 even, but I think number 1's just a little bit easier to read. And then I'm going to do it a little bit different than they have on here because we don't need that, we don't have a prompt for it. So we're just going to do number 1 equals 1. And maybe that's not right, but we'll do this anyway. For all 4 numbers. So we'll have a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, and a number 4. And we're going to have it equal to the number, but let's see. Let's see if this says it anywhere in the text here. I mean, in the textbook. So here they declare it as number 1 equals, and then it equals the prompt that was put in. So that's why they're using parse. We don't need to use parse or anything. So I just am not sure. Like this is not right. Oh, it's just saying that its value was never used. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the string. And we know that the string... So the string has... So in here they have some text. And then they have where they're calling out... Or not calling out, but they're inserting the variable that they've written into the enclosed braces. So within the double quotes here, we're going to add the braces, and each one of them, we're going to add a space between each set of braces, and we're going to have 4 sets of braces. Okay, so inside this we're going to call out these integers that we have created the name for. So we're going to call out number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, and we don't need any commas or anything in there. Let's change these values though. 3, and this is equal to 4. And then let's go ahead and see how that's looking now. And it says there's errors. So let's not run the last one. Let's see the expected semicolon. Oops. So right here, I'm missing my semicolon. All right, so let's try to run that again. So here I'm missing a blank line, I believe. So let's just add another console.write line. And then we'll run that again. No. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Okay, yep, that's fixed now. All right, let's run it again. Okay, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we need that extra line here. You can also start this with a \n. No, /n. No. Oh, maybe I need to do it within the parentheses. For \n. Yeah, that's what you would do. That would do the same thing. By starting it on a new line. So we could do that to start on a new line, or oops, we don't want quotes, we want double quotes. Okay, but I'm gonna put this back up here because it's a little bit easier. It's kind of like what we've already been over, so I'm just gonna keep that way. But I'm also going to add, let's see, how did we do it on here? Capital C, and then a space, and then let's see how it looks now. Okay, A, B, C. So that is, we did all three. Let's see, I think I'm gonna put this, let's clean the comments up a little bit. I'm still really working on how to, like, a best practice for the comments, and I do not know what is best practice is. Let's do an extra line here, and then let's see. But that might have seemed like it's like a lot to remember and stuff, but really it's, the more that you do it, the less it'll be, like, the more it'll just be like, you just remember certain, like, you remember the different syntax and things like that, and it becomes a lot easier to do. But if you just have it just like this, that's pretty close. You can do it exactly how it shows on here with part A, part B, part C, but I think it's just fine like this, however you want to do it, right? But these are the 4 things that are asked on the assignment. All you have to do now is save. So make sure you do save all, okay? And then, like I said, make sure you saved it in a place where you know where to find it. And then what you're gonna do is, we'll just close out of here so that it's not open. And then I cannot open it from my Mac. I can only open it from my Windows. So I have like a different program on my Mac that will run Windows. And on the Windows program, I can open up my folder, my files, and I can see, I think I saved it in documents. Let's see, okay. I'm not sure if it, oops, that's not spelled right. Let's see if that's the right one though. Let's go ahead and open it up. This might be the wrong one. Yeah, this is the wrong one. So I have to find the right one because I didn't do a great job of labeling it since I already had a bunch of assignment 4s on there. All right.
You just put your iPad.
All right, there we go. Okay, so now that we know that this is the right one, we know we can bring it up. We're going to go back. Okay, in assignment 4, we're going to click on, we're not going to open up, we're just going to click on it, and we're going to put compress to zip file. And then we're going to label this the way that the instructor wants us to, which I believe is first name, last name, assignment, or week, maybe, week 3. Assignment 4, whatever it is that however we're supposed to do it on there. And then when you do that, you should then be able to like send it to yourself, like send it to your email or whatever. Okay, so like open up your email, send it like as an attachment, and see if you can open it from your email, like extract all and then open that. So like if you were to open it from your email right now and you extract all, extract, and then go ahead and open it up, and then you're going to click on where it says .sln, and that's where it'll come up, and you should be able to, yep, you should be able to pull it up from there. Everything's there. If you run it, you'll see ABC, and you have everything on there. It's looking great. Otherwise, if you have issues with trying to save it or trying to do the zip and files and stuff, I could not do that from my Mac because my Visual Studio is, I can only use it through the Windows platform. Sorry. So I was only able to send it through Windows. I could not send it from my folders in Mac, even though it's on there too. I wasn't able to send it that way. It just kept like not kept working. So when I sent it from the Windows folder that I had saved it under, then I could save it just fine after I sent it as a zipped file and everything. All right, so that's it for assignment 4. I'm going to be doing assignment 5 next. I'll send that in a different video though.